Hi, come sit with me and let's visit. This is kind of a little bit different things that I normally talk about, and I'm not really trying to be negative. That's not what this is about. This is about just things that I, I've noticed and kind of have a hard time dealing with, I guess. Just doesn't sit well with me because I want to surround myself with people and friends and that support each other and believe that there's enough room for everyone to succeed, that it's not just a certain few that know what they're doing or can't get there. And it's not just travel, that's for sure. I mean, it's every industry that I've ever worked in. So this is just, so I'm not talking necessarily about travel. I just know that there are people that you see, because, well, I guess what brought this on is that I see so many people in all walks of life that are so scared of AI and that are criticizing others that use it. And I don't know, that bothers me because we shouldn't be yucking on someone else's yum anyway. And if someone is using AI to get the point across what they, because that's what I use it for. If y'all notice in my videos, I can ramble. I've always done that. I can get off track easily. So, I acknowledge it. I know that it's there. So that's one of the things, the main thing that I use it, AI for, is because, AI can't work on its own. It's only going to work with the information that you provided. So I need help shoring up my thoughts on paper, like whether I'm writing a blog or if I'm writing a post or an email that I'm having difficulty explaining the way that I want it explained, because I don't want to lead people into other directions that's not what they were asking me, and that's not, sometimes not even relevant. So if you know me, that's definitely things that can happen. So that's what I use it for. I say, this is what I need. I need in this blog to talk about this. This is information I have. These are the things that I know, and this is what I want to express without getting, and that helps me because I can definitely get in all different directions. That's not what I want. Especially since if I know the subject that I'm talking about, and I still can go off in different directions. So I'm so thankful for it because it helps me so much talk about the things that I'm actually supposed to be talking about on that particular email or that blog and not going in a wholly different direction. So anyway, so I hate to see other people criticizing, especially if it's, and I think a lot of it is fear, because new technology, new things are scary. I told her, I know this, I agree with it, but I guess just because you're not willing to learn it or even accept it doesn't mean that it's not something that other people should be using and they should be criticized for. Don't yuck on somebody else's yum. I think I've already said that, but that's kind of what comes to my mind. Everything's changing, and especially in travel, and I'm sure everywhere else. There's new technology coming, there's new marketing ways, there's new information, there's new things, the way people do business. So it's changing. We have to keep up with it. And AI is just another tool for people to use to keep up with it. And especially in small businesses. Years ago, the fax machine was invented, and look how much that helped small businesses or any business. And then there's so many things that were invented in these last, I've been in business, for 40 something years, not owning a business, but I mean, I've been in the workforce. That's the word I'm looking for. So you see it. I mean, things change, look at computers. Heck, when I started working, we didn't have computers, or they were very basic. They weren't capable of doing the things that we do now. Look at cell phones. We didn't have cell phones. I mean, and there's lots of generations, well, not generations, but, there's lots of kids now that and even your 20-something-year-olds that have never lived without a cell phone. So it's just, so this is how we have to look at AI. This is what this is. I mean, so many people can't live without their cell phone. That is their lifeline. So many people don't have a home phone anymore. Well, I don't. My parents don't. So this is just another way that we need to adapt. Don't be scared of it. Find someone out there that can help you with it, that can teach you the things it can do for you, and not take. It's not going to take anything away from what you know, I guess. And it's not, you can't do anything on its own. You have to tell it the information. You have to say what you're looking for and what you want to accomplish with this information that you're giving to the AI. I mean, it just can't make stuff up and do work for you if you're not the one. And work is not the right word either. That's not, because it doesn't do any work for me. I have to do the work. I have to tell it what I want it to say, and that's how it helps me. And if, let's just say, if I was going to do a spreadsheet, it can't just go out there and generate a spreadsheet out of thin air. I have to say what I want these columns are on this spreadsheet, what I want this spreadsheet to accomplish, why I'm creating this spreadsheet, and how it's going to help me. So let's make it together so, you know, I can get the results that I need. So that's what this is about. Anyway, and it's just a new tool for us to use. And, you know, I understand people are so afraid of it, but again, you know, the knowledge that we refuse to learn or even acknowledge that it's there and don't understand it, it's just going to leave us behind. And I'm not saying I'm better than anyone, because, geez, there's so much about AI. I have no idea. I mean, I'm pretty basic in what I know and what I use it for. So there's still so much I need to learn that would really help me accomplish what I want to accomplish. And so don't think that I'm trying to lecture you on how much knowledge I have, because no. And that's another thing, is gatekeeping that really has bothered me, that I've seen a lot. And there's knowledge is something that should be shared. And you shouldn't think that if you keep the knowledge just to yourself, that other people aren't going to get where you are, you know, because there are other ways to dig a hole. You know, that's probably not the right analogy, but you know what I mean. I mean, just because I do something one way and somebody else does it another way, doesn't mean that my way is better than their way, or their way is better than my way. It's just we do things differently. So, and I want everyone to succeed. So if there's anything that I know, that some tip that I know, or some anything that I know that's going to help somebody else, and if they ask me, well, then I'm going to do everything I can to explain what it is they're asking and give it to them. I'm not going to just ignore them or keep the knowledge to myself. And and I don't want to be in that environment. You know, I don't want those people surrounding me that think that way, because that's not how I think. And like I said, I want everyone to succeed. There's room here for everyone, no matter what business you are, no matter what you're doing. You know, there's plenty of room for everyone. So not everyone can do what you do, of course, because a lot of it is, that's who you are. That's your personality. You're doing things that the way you understand. So don't let somebody take something else away from you just because you're doing something different than they are. And don't let new knowledge and new technology scare you to where you're putting yourself in a position where you're closed off and you're not adapting to what's coming. Because, I mean, you just stop and think how businesses have changed. Like I said, I mean, just look in the last so many years, you know, what all has helped businesses. I mean, you have the fax machine. Look how much that's come along and helped everyone. So anyway, keep an open mind. Don't keep everything that you know to yourself. Share, smile, and make yourself available. Don't be on this tier where nobody else, where you're here and you think everyone's here and everyone should stay here instead of moving here. That's not how it goes. All right, see you later.